It's that time. Some stories to start your morning. Cavs picking up a much-needed win last night, beating the Timberwolves 140-38 in overtime. LeBron 37, 10, and 15. Oh, and the buzzer-beating game winner. Nick, how impressive was LeBron's performance last night?
He was great throughout the game. He was particularly great in those clutch moments that I've heard some people say he fails in, even though he leads the NBA in clutch points and clutch field goal percentage this season. On that game winner, though, hell of a pass by Jeff Green. That's the play, and typically Kevin Love is making that pass.
Yeah,
Kevin Love's
designed by Ty Lue, though, to spread the court so he could isolate LeBron right on the free throw line. He has a 17-footer step back. It was an amazing shot.
I am curious, though. Tom Thibodeau is a great defensive coach. Why do you have two of your guys defending guys 70 feet from the basket with 1 second left?
I mean, they can knock it down from half court. You had to defend the guys in the back because it's 1 second. Like, you have enough chance to gather and shoot.
I would have... Go ahead. Go ahead.
You're supposed to double team LeBron at the free throw line?
I wouldn't have had anyone on the ball.
As much as NBA players bet money shooting from half court, like, I wouldn't allow one of them to be open in half court.
Sure, but what about the man on the inbounder? Take a guy off Jeff Green and double up LeBron like Gronk in the end zone. Like, I don't think you want LeBron on a guy shorter than him.
I thought you'd be very happy with LeBron making it. Now
I was very happy.
Trying to pick apart the defense.
I'm trying to do a full...
I thought it was a good play designed by Ty Lue. What about that?
Great. They did a screen to Korver to try to get him open there. No, it was a great job by Ty Lue. Not a great job by Tom Thibodeau.
You guys, how about the Spurs last night? Spurs just mollywopped the Suns 129-81. That is a 48-point win. At one point in the fourth quarter, the game was 100-50, and all this without Kawhi Leonard. How impressive was this for San Antonio last night, CC?
Man, Phoenix is big back. I mean, they're bad. The time they make the highlights is some type of dunk by Josh Jackson. Like, they typically not making the highlights. The season started off really bad and is getting worse. She's not an NBA caliber team, 100-50. Like, I mean, stop. Like that's not even necessary.
The Suns were a 48-0 run away from getting it to a one-possession game. Like, I mean, it is as bad as it gets. The Spurs continuing to win just about 2/3 of their game without Kawhi Leonard is remarkable. There's the long-term Brady-Belichick debate. I think we both side on the Brady side of it. In the Kawhi Leonard, Greg Popovich debate, man, it's sliding closer and closer to Pop as each of these games go on.
I try to tell you, Pop is so much further ahead than any other NBA coach, especially Brad Stevens.
Oh, my gosh.
Especially.
Pop's the best coach in the world. Brad Stevens might be the second.
Hey, the Pistons beat the Nets 115-106 last night. They're 5-0 since trading for Blake Griffin. Blake finished with 25 points. White teammate Andre... Wait, sorry.
White teammate Andre Drummond.
Drummond had 17 points, 27 rebounds. Let's talk about the Pistons quickly. I mean, they look like a different team with Blake there.
Biracial Blake Griffin was extraordinary in this basketball game. Andre Drummond, 27 rebounds in this game. Cece, I told you when they made this trade they're going to make the playoffs. You were skeptical of me. Do you agree now they're going to make the playoffs?
Yeah, because the white dude, Luke Kennard, is my man. I played with his uncle in Middletown, man. He's from Franklin, Ohio.
For real?
Yeah, absolutely. For real. Yeah, they got white people there.
Italian Stan Van Gundy is doing a great job now that they've gotten Blake Griffin. Come on, lead into it. Nope. It's not your fault. You didn't put the... I promise you, Jenna wrote while. Whoever typed it in and thing put white.
Lou Williams agreed to a contract extension with the Clippers. The deal is reportedly 3 years and $24 million. Seems like a bargain for a guy averaging more than 23 points and 5 assists per game this season, but that's just me saying that. Nick, were you surprised with this deal?
Yeah. I thought Lou Williams left some money on the table. $8 million per for a guy that was this close to being an all-star. Like, maybe he's worried about getting hurt in the final 20 games of the regular season. I don't know. Like, I know there's not a ton of money to be had this offseason. The salary cap's not going up as much. Teams overspent a couple off seasons ago. But he felt to me like a $12 million a year player, not an $8 million a year player. So, yeah, I mean, good job by the Clippers, but I'm surprised Lou Williams only got 3 years, 24 million.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he settled for that. He definitely could have gotten that. But he's maybe looking out on the market because there's going to be a correction coming to the NBA. You mentioned a couple years ago a lot of bad contracts. The money is not going up in the same percentages that it's gone up the last 2 years. So maybe he saw that and said, I like Los Angeles. Let me go ahead and take this three-year deal here.
All right, finally to the
Not bad for a
NFL.
black guy.
Aaron Rodgers.
Keta wrote it, by the way. I found out.
Oh.
Keta gets the blame, not Jen
Bad for
Wolf.
the brother.
Thank you.
Not
Aaron
bad.
Rodgers will spend the offseason rehabbing his surgically repaired collarbone, but he still has high hopes for the 2018 season. When asked about winning another MVP, Rodgers said, I plan on doing that again because the last time he broke his collarbone, he came back and won MVP honor. So logic dictates, ... CC, what do you think? Can Rodgers win another MVP?
Oh, definitely. As long as Aaron Rodgers got his right arm. Yeah, he's definitely got a chance to win MVP. Aaron Rodgers, I like the fact that after being injured, named kind of out of the limelight, you know, he lets people know I'm working hard. So to me, it's his mind is in the right place. Like, that's the kind of player that we like to see. Man, this was an awful year for injuries. J.J. Watt, OBJ, Aaron Rodgers, just on and on. Star
Carson
players
Wentz
getting hurt, but none is better than Aaron Rodgers. And yes, I do believe he'll get at least one more MVP. They've changed some coaching stuff around, so it is going to be a challenge for him. They've made some front office moves there in Green Bay. It's going to be interesting how they participate in free agency and what they do in the upcoming draft.
Listen, it is not Aaron Rodgers' job to worry about the long-term cap situation of the Green Bay Packers. It is Aaron Rodgers' job to worry about, can we win a championship right now while I am the best player in the league? The Packers already have decided, hey, you don't get to comment on our coaching decisions. We're getting rid of your quarterback coach and not even consulting you about it, even though you like him. Here's what I know Aaron Rodgers would like them to do. It's what CeCe alluded to. At least dip a toe in, maybe a whole foot, maybe down to mid-shin in the free agency pool.
Yes.
Where they have been for years and years and years. You can list off the top of your head the big free agents they brought in. Oh, remember the time they brought in Julius Peppers? How exciting that was? Because they don't typically do that. Now, what they have done is let some quality players they drafted walk out the door. Devon House, see you later. When Charles Woodson still had some time left, see you later. Like, so you cannot squander the opportunity you have when you have a player this talented. I would argue only having been to one Super Bowl in Aaron Rodgers' tenure is a massive underachievement by the franchise as a whole. I don't blame Aaron for that.
Right.
I know we love to blame quarterbacks. I don't blame him for that.
And that's also why it's important for him, if he's not going to win them Super Bowls, he better win some MVPs. And I like the fact of his wording. I always get caught up in what they say. He said, I want to win. It wasn't like, I expect to win or I believe they're going to give me one. He said, I want to win. So for me, that means he's going to prepare the right way to put himself in position. And for this, if he wins MVP, that means the team is in championship position.
And one note that CeCe mentioned, I don't want it to get glossed over, that if you're not going to win championships, you need to win the MVPs. There are two paths to becoming a Pantheon quarterback. Multiple rings, that's the... For example, that's how John Elway got there, right? John Elway's actual stats are not unbelievable, but he went to 5 Super Bowls, won 2 of them. Like, that's why he's a Pantheon guy. The other way is just overwhelming numbers. That's how Dan Marino got there, even though he only played in the 1 Super Bowl. Rodgers knows, man, I can't control the defense. I evidently can't even control my coaching staff. Like, what I can control is how many years I throw for 4,500 yards, 35 touchdowns.
It's hard to imagine, though, that they are going to dip too deeply into free agency when there's no history of them doing it in the last.
But they changed some of their decision making.
Right, so now they might. Get your sensible shoes on, Eagles fans. Undoubtedly, the biggest parade through your city in recent memory is happening today. Eagles will be celebrating their first ever Super Bowl title through the city of brotherly love. And while Philadelphia played the underdog card all playoffs, Doug Peterson wants to establish a dynasty of his own. Here's his message to the team.
I said, you know, if you want, get used to this. This is the new norm in Philadelphia, playing, and hopefully playing into February every year. It's the new norm. So get used to it. Short off seasons, and let's do that. You know, and the guys that want to be a part of that. You know, we'll do that. They'll want to be here, and I think everybody does want to be here. But as you know, the nature of the business is you can't keep everybody. It's just the way it goes, and but the ones that are here, you know, my mindset is to be back again.
Doug Peterson is willing it into existence that this is the new norm in Philadelphia. CeCe, how are the Eagles set up for the future?
They've done a great job. They made a tremendous mistake when they gave Chip Kelly all the power. But keeping Howie Roseman on and giving Howie Roseman that power back, we've seen him and Doug work in conjunction. We saw with the Jay Ajayi trade. Howie comes to him during the day, asked him, hey, what do you think about this player? Would you like him? He's like, heck yeah, absolutely. Like, I didn't think he'd be available. So you know that they're working together to build this roster. They have an opportunity in the next 3 years, and it's very important they take advantage of it. That is when the rookie quarterback is on his rookie contract. So they have 3 more years. This is the second year in a 5-year deal. They'll pick up the option after the 4th year. So in this 3-year window, they're going to have to try to do what Seattle couldn't do, and that was win either 2 or 3 Super Bowls. Seattle was in position. Same kind of makeup of a team, you know, but, you know, Russell was on his rookie contract. They put all their money in their defensive players. Marshawn Lynch was running the ball for him. Doug Baldwin and all these complimentary receivers, they weren't making a big money, so the team was able to flourish. But they went through that window. They only got 1 Super Bowl. So now it's how many can Philadelphia put themselves in position to do? They have a stud quarterback, and we haven't seen him play in 2 months. And his name is Carson Wentz. It is not Nick Foles. They have a perfect backup, a guy on the team who they've had success with. So even if this comes up next year, man, the guys on the team, the amount of confidence they will have, they won't have to go through 3 games, which they had to this year, to be able to get Nick Foles and the offensive coordinator. But also, Frank Wright, they might lose him. So you have to be able to, man, take advantage of this window. This team is not going to be the same in 2018, but Carson Wentz will be back. I believe their wide receiving core, they had a tremendous year compared to the disappointing year they had in 2016. So I believe it's an open window that they could win another 1 in the next 3 years. That would be 2 and 4. That is a modern-day dynasty, so I believe it. I believe that the Eagles are capable of doing this.
You mentioned the wide receivers. Here's what the wide receivers have in common, the entire wide receiving core. They're all under contract for next year. The entire offensive line, they're all under contract for next year. The D-line, all but one.
Now, Jason Peters might have to take a reduction in salary.
Absolutely.
Because I think he's the highest paid one.
He's their highest paid offensive lineman. Absolutely. He makes $12 million. Lane Johnson makes $12 million as well. Look at this, CeCe. This is not a depth chart. That is the cap sheet for next year. All of those guys are under contract. Now, that's why Philadelphia, we were talking about Green Bay, Philadelphia will not be participating in free agency. Of the 32 NFL teams, they are 32nd in available cap space. They do not have the ability to go get a lot of guys.
They don't need a lot of guys.
But they don't need a lot of guys. They're losing Darren Sproles. He's their highest paid leaving player. But he wasn't there this year. He broke his arm and tore his ACL in week 3. The one guy they are losing that is going to be a real loss for them, or I think will lose, is Patrick Robinson, a guy they got on a very cheap deal, less than $800,000 as kind of a prove-it deal. He'll probably go out and get paid. Maybe they replace him with their first-round pick, but they've got everybody coming back.
They have Sidney Jones, who they've been high on. He was injured this year, so they have him coming back.
He was their second-round pick this past year.
Yeah, so I believe he'll replace Robinson in the productivity there.
Okay, if they're pretty stacked, their wide receivers, their O-line, their D-line, pick a position on this team you think they could use a little bit of help on next year.
I think the secondary was the one spot on the team that was not B+ or better.
Okay.
I thought their secondary, their linebacking core should get better with the middle linebacker coming back from his injury.
Yes.
You mentioned, though, one thing, CeCe, about the quarterback. They have a stud at quarterback. I have one thing we have not addressed that I'm curious your thoughts on. How much do you think Carson Wentz's injury? I know we believe in today you can rehab from it 100%. But do you think suffering that injury the way he suffered it will have any impact on his style of play moving forward? Because part of what made Carson Wentz the MVP candidate, the stud, was his athleticism, underrated because he's a kid from North Dakota State, and his ability to extend plays, the RPOs, those types of things. Coming off 2 torn ligaments and a broken leg that happened when he was extending a play, diving for the end zone. Do you think his style changes at all?
No, because it wasn't a traumatic hit. I mean, he broke a bone, but no, it's a normal NFL football play. He's not Johnny Manziel. He's not some undersized guy that got hit. He's not RG3, a guy who runs 4.3, who shatters his knee and shattered his confidence. And the reason why is because he plays the game with his head too. He's a great athlete playing quarterback, but he can be a dominant pocket passer. If there's one position I'd like to see him improve,
tell me.
I'd like to see him get another wide receiver with some speed down the field.
Okay.
Torrey Smith, he is just not enough for me. At this point in his career, I believe he's lost a half of a step. He's still dependable, but I'd like to get one younger guy who can get down the field.
Are you going to the parade today?
In Philly?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to make it.
Is it okay? You're not going to make it.
I'm not gonna
because you got a taste of the fans.
I don't know if I'd be popular at the parade. I mean, I could make it, I suppose, after the show, but I'm gonna let Philly have that. Are you going, Jenna?
I'm
you
not
spent time
going.
in Philadelphia.
I know.
Cece put on the dog match.
I was trying to wonder if she was really wondering if we were going, or if it was like I didn't like. I mean, do you think we actually might be going?
I thought you might go. You put on the dog mask. You're an adopted Philadelphia Eagle now. You were barking yippee-ki-yo.
Plenty of middle fingers.
It's true.
I know. I mean, they know I played there. I stopped there. You know.
All right.
But
Coming up, let's talk some Cleveland Cavs. Should they part ways with Isaiah Thomas? Next on First Things First.
at the parade today, they will be saying this.
What?
Nick Rice.
Oh, God.
Nick Rice.
Oh, you know who else thinks
Nick
that? Chris
Rice.
Mannix, who's joining us in a
Oh,
moment.